Assalamu alaikum, my dear brothers and sisters. I hope you're enjoying this special series by Safir TV on the very important topic of Hajj, and I thank all of you for tuning in so far. My name is Ali Hassan, and I'm, of course, with pleasure I say, I'm joined by Sheikh Ayoub. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
As we always do, let's get straight to the point. Umrah at-tamattu, but there's a key word that we were discussing previously, Miqat. Apparently that means border. That's the technical term for a border. Please, could you elaborate on that? What does that mean? I believe it's very, very important to know when it comes to Hajj.
So as we said in the beginning of our programs, Hajj is divided into two major parts.
Okay.
One is Umrah or Umrah Tamattu, and then Hajj. So we call it mini Hajj and major Hajj.
Okay.
Today's discussion is about Umrah Tamattu. So we are talking about mini Hajj.
Okay.
In order for you to go to perform Umrah, from wherever you come from, you have to go to the places where there are borders in order for you to enter into the Haram of Mecca, where you are going to perform your Umrah.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So you're talking about borders of countries all across the globe. Every country has a border before you can enter into it. So are you saying there's a border, a distinct border for which place again? Exactly? You said it was the sacred house of Allah, or is it what was the term that you used?
Yeah, so when we talk about borders, we are talking about Miqat.
Okay.
Miqat.
Miqat.
Miqat, these are borders which you are inside. You are inside the country where you're going to perform your Umrah.
Please give me an example.
Okay. So for example, if you are coming from Medina.
Okay.
Yeah, there are some people, if we can make it clear, there are some people who when they go for Umrah, they take, for example, fly to the city of Medina.
Okay.
Medina is not counted as one of the places which you are going to do either Umrah or Hajj. Medina, you are going to do ziyarah.
Sure.
Of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, of his masjid,
right.
Of Jannatul Baqi,
right.
Uhud, where Hamza and other companions are buried.
Sure.
That is not counted as part of Umrah or Hajj. It's just a visit to the Holy Prophet and mosques and other places as we have mentioned.
Sure.
So now, if you are going to do ziyarah of Medina before going to perform Umrah, there are other people who do it the other way around.
Okay.
They start with Umrah and then they will go, for example, to Medina. The choice is yours.
Okay.
But the most important thing, if you come from Medina, for example, or you come from Jeddah, or you come from other places. So we talk about the people who come from Yemen, people who come from Syria, people who come from Iraq, people who come from Egypt, people who come from different places. Once they are inside the country, ready to go to perform Umrah or Hajj, they have to go to these places which are known as Miqat,
right,
in order for them to wear Ihram.
Okay, I'm with you now. And all this is beginning to make sense. So, and I'm going to attempt to name these places.
Very good.
And I'm going to need your help.
Very good. Bismillah.
So here we go. So these borders, we can classify them as borders from wherever you're coming from, especially the places that you just mentioned. As long as you land on these borders, you have to put on Ihram. That special garment.
Very good.
Okay, here we go. 5 places. Dhul Hulayfa.
Correct.
Okay. Al-Jufa.
Correct. Juhfa.
Juhfa. See, I knew. Here we go. This is one of my favorites. Ya Lamlam.
Yes.
Ya Lamlam.
Ya Lamlam.
It just rolls off the tongue. And then Qarnul Manazil.
Correct. Qarnul Manazil.
4 out of 4 so far. Well, except that Ju'fa. And then we have Dhatul Irq.
Dhatul Irq.
Close enough.
Yes.
How did I do? Was that okay?
Very well.
Alhamdulillah.
Well
You're too kind. So these are borders. I'm actually with you now. When we began this episode, I know I asked you to define Miqat. I was very shaky on it. I'm better now. And it's just been a few minutes. So thank you for that, Sheikh.
Most welcome.
Right. So these are the borders. Now, you've mentioned countries that were Middle Eastern countries. Let's talk about where we are.
Yes.
From London, I have to go to Heathrow. Bought my ticket on Heathrow, get on the plane, land in the Hijaz, and
Say you
so on and
land
so
in
forth.
Medina.
Medina. So at what point, where are these? Because I've said them, but do I know where they are? Not quite. I don't quite know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
So what would happen in that case?
It's important to say that every pilgrim, whenever he goes to perform Umrah or Hajj, he has to cross these borders, these Miqat.
Sure.
So the drivers, drivers will take you there.
Right.
The caravans will take you there. So you will not miss them.
Okay.
Every person has to go there. Why do we go to, let's say, Juhfa? Why we go to places like Yalamlam or Dhatil Irq or other places? It's because we want to go and wear the Ihram. 2 garments, whites, which we see people during the Hajj. They wear that.
Sure.
So once you reach there, your obligation is just to wear the Ihram, to change your normal clothing, to wear those 2 pieces of Ihram.
So you're getting yourself in that state.
Indeed.
You're actually physically getting ready.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now you are there, you are changing your clothing. It is recommended for you to take shower.
Okay.
Not wajib, not compulsory.
Okay.
So let's say we mentioned few things which are recommended and those which are compulsory. You reach to this place, let's say Juhfa or any Miqat.
Sure.
You take shower. Remember, when you take shower, the soap which you use shouldn't be scented.
Oh.
So it should be just
Unscented soap.
unscented soap.
Okay.
Or you can take shower without using soap.
That's
soap.
a little bit difficult. Or do they supply you with special soap?
No. Any group which you go with, they will explain this to you.
Okay.
Because the issue is you are not supposed to use any perfume.
Right.
So some soaps, they do have.
So no deodorant either?
No deodorant.
Okay.
For the period where you're going to wear Ihram, forget about that.
Oh, wow.
And we will mention about the things which we cannot use when you wear Ihram.
Sure.
So you have taken shower. Now you are changing your clothing. You are wearing Ihram. Here, this is a big step. So now you are ready physical. I am a person who is going to start my Umrah. Umrah Tamattu. When you wear your Ihram, you have to now to make your intention. I am wearing this Ihram. For what reason? For Umrah Tamattu. This Umrah Tamattu, is it for Hajj, Islam, or is it for recommended Hajj? You have to specify that. So in your mind, up to now, you need to know, of course, why are you going for this trip. So let's say Umrah Tamattu, as we are talking about here. You put your in Ihram because of that Umrah Tamattu for Hajj al-Islam. Now here it is wajib qurbatan ila Allah ta'ala. You don't need to say these words as we have mentioned during the other episode for intention.
Sure.
Just your intention is good enough for you. What are you doing? I'm changing my clothing. I'm wearing Ihram.
Yeah, obviously, you're there for a reason. You're doing a specific act that you wouldn't necessarily do if you were home.
Indeed.
Right.
So now you have put on your Ihram. The second thing which you need to do immediately is to do talbiyah. So, labbaik Allahumma, labbaik, labbaik la sharika laka labbaik, inna alhamda wa ni'mata laka wal mulk, la sharika laka labbaik. So this will be repeated. People will be reciting with you. The leader of your group will start. So you will go into that action of saying it.
Sure.
Most of these places, there is a masjid, there is a mosque. So you will go to the mosque to pray 2 rakats, recommended. It's not wajib.
Sure.
Your obligation is to wear the 2 pieces, which we call them ihram. Once you have done that, there is a list of things which you are not supposed to do.
Right.
Because now you are in a state of ihram.
Sure.
So I don't know if we can continue this way, or can we?
Well, we have a specific topic, or sorry, episode
Okay.
on Ihram. And yeah, as you said, there is a list that we need to go through. So we'll pause on that.
Okay.
How far are these miqats from, let's say, the Kaaba? Are they just, can you see them? Are they really far?
No. They are very far. They are very
Okay.
far. Some of them, it may take maybe 4 hours for you from Miqat to Mecca. Some of the places may take 6 hours.
See, this is why I asked. I wanted to make sure how far is the actual borders. Which one out of these 5, if you know, is the furthest away from the actual Kaaba?
Normally for people like ourselves, you have mentioned we come from, let's say, Heathrow Airport, we go there. We use only, I think, Juhfa.
Okay.
Most of the
Hulayfa?
time. And Dhul Hulayfa, Juhfa is what I know mostly.
Sure.
So from there to the Miqat is about
I've
more
heard
than
of
5 hours.
5 hours. And is that by coach?
By
bus?
coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a
By
pretty
coach mainly.
big difference. Okay. I've heard of these stories now that people on airplanes, they actually put on this special, the robes, the 2 garments.
Yeah,
ihram.
Ihram. Yeah.
Why is that? Because they've actually reached by plane, they've reached one of these borders?
So for you to wear Ihram from, let's say, your house or from the airport where you're going to board the plane, is not wajib.
Oh, okay.
It's not compulsory. Compulsory for you is to wear your Ihram from those Miqat.
Right.
But yes, we understand. There are some people who go from, let's say, here to Jeddah. When you reach Jeddah, you are almost inside the Miqat. You have crossed the border. And you are not supposed to do that. So you have to go to a masjid, which is the border. I think there is masjid, the area which is known as Tan'im. You go there, you wear your Ihram, and then you start the journey towards Mecca.
Right.
So now, if you know you will cross the border before wearing Ihram, you can put it from your house or the airport with the intention of nadhr, vow.
Right.
That I'm putting this Ihram. When I reach my Miqat, whichever Miqat is there, so I will be in a state of Ihram, and I do this for the sake of Allah, the Almighty. That one is acceptable.
Okay, you've answered one of the questions I was about to ask you. It was to do with nadhr.
Okay.
Are you able to put on the ihram before or after the miqats? And you've just established that yes, before you can, but your intention is slightly different.
Indeed.
Right.
And here another point which can be connected with what you're saying here is that what if I find myself now, maybe I didn't know, I entered the Miqat, I entered the border, I crossed the border, now I'm inside the haram, I'm towards going to Mecca.
Sure.
Here the mas'ala is I have to go back to the border in order for me to wear ihram, because I'm not allowed to enter into, cross the border without being in the state of ihram. So I'll have to go to the miqat, do exactly what we have mentioned in the beginning in order for me to be able to enter in the area where I'm going to perform tawaf.
So that's how strict it is.
It is. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned it very clearly. And he said, take your rituals of Hajj from me.
Right.
Don't do whatever you think you can do it.
Of course, yeah.
Don't copy anyone or follow anyone. No, take it from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he has mentioned clearly, when you want to come to go to perform Umrah, let's say Tamattu, as we are mentioning here, you have to wear your ihram from the border, from the miqat. And that's why we follow the sunnah of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sure.
This is a direction which he left it for us to follow, and we do it like that.
Sure. We are actually drawing a close to this episode. Lastly, I'd like to ask you to quickly run through some of the rituals. So if you just, with your bullet points, if you let us know, for example, the whole tawaf element, for example, these rituals.
So now you're in a state of ihram.
Yes.
From there you go to Mecca. You enter the Masjid al-Haram, you go straight to Al-Kaaba, you do tawaf, going around Al-Kaaba 7 times.
Sure.
You finish that, you come near Maqam Ibrahim. Anywhere here, you pray 2 rakats after tawaf.
Right.
Once you finish that, you go Safa, between Safa and Marwa. You go 7 times.
Like Lady Hajj did.
Indeed. Yeah. Once you finish that, you trim either your hair, just a little bit of it, or you cut your nails. And that Umrah Tamattu is completed.
Okay, so when you say trim, like, are you gonna ask the barber to give you a fade, or just literally just a small piece?
Yeah, just
that
a
you
small
take?
piece.
And you do it yourself?
It's better to ask someone who has done it for you,
Okay.
someone to do it for you. And someone who has done his hair, he has completed his Umrah, he can do it for you. But you can do it for yourself too.
Okay, you can do it, but it's
can do it.
recommended that you ask somebody
Yes.
to do it because they're probably professionals at it.
But remember, it's just a little bit of it.
It's a little bit.
Because you keep it after Hajj, there is where you're going to shave your head completely.
Oh, so that's right. Thank you for making that clear. And thank you once again for this episode and for your answers. I really appreciate them.
Most welcome.
Brothers and sisters, that's all the time we have for this particular episode. There are many more to come. For example, the next one, and we briefly touched upon this, Sheikh Ayoub, Ihram. There's a whole episode on it. So we need to talk about that special garment that you and I, inshallah, will wear one day while we are on that journey of a lifetime. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.